What we're going to do today, I think I'm going to open up the lessons, our online courses, so you can start picking up. We're going to focus on verbs, okay? And I'm going to share my screen. Give me one moment.
I thought you're supposed to be an expert. She goes, I am.
Well, I
I
even
like
look, I also, even though I'm a certified interpreter, there's some words we just don't use very often, and we
Yeah.
might get it, it's gone, or maybe there's not even a sign for it. It was like,
Oh, yeah.
I just finger spell it. So we might stop and pause to go, research that word to see if there is a sign for it now. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to be sharing this. This is about uh we can I'm thinking maybe let's do verbs instead of calendar. So calendar is in this lesson. So when you are a member at ASL Teaching Resources, you're going to have this available to you to practice on your own.
Oh, okay.
And it's a paper you can download if you hit the material tab right there.
Oh,
You can
okay.
download that piece of paper so you can also look at it and have that later. So we're going to practice this together.
Okay. Now, what's the sign for calendar?
Okay, so the sign for calendar, let me come down here, is this is your calendar, as if it's like your calendar you hang on the wall, right? And
Yeah.
so this is your piece of paper, and you're going to take the C hand and you're going to turn the calendar to the next month. Calendar.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. That makes sense. Okay.
calendar. It's an icon, what we call an iconic sign.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
When
now
I,
for every month, you have two options. More ASL, we finger spell just like we would write it. So we don't finger spell the whole word unless in English we write the whole word. That's in general. There are rules that do change. So for instance, if I was signing, this is February, if I were to write abbreviation, I would write FEB. Same with finger spelling, FEB.
yeah.
And so if I were to try to abbreviate March, if I wrote it, I write MAR in sign, I might just go ahead and spell the whole thing out because it's just easy. It's March. So it's just in general, that's how it works. So June, we write that out, we write June. So let's look at our verbs here. So just in the calendar, notice that this is your body is your timeline, okay?
Okay.
I noticed earlier you were signing yesterday, and so you lean back, okay? So practice this with me. This is 1 week. This stands for week, okay? And your body is straight. So me,
Okay.
I'm going. See, I'm going. So you're going to
I'm
sign
going.
this now. I'm going to the policeman. So do you know the sign for policeman? Yes. So this is a sign that we don't have to add an agent, which is a personification of something. For instance, you have the sign for library, but you can't sign this for librarian. You have to add person. Librarian. So we've now taken the word library and changed it from a place to a person, librarian. Now, for police, that's it. That's all you got. You don't have to add the person sign. Now, before you were talking about people with the P hands. So when we change a word to a person, we can use this, but we tend to just use this as if it's their legs. Okay. So we are going to now sign, I'm going to the policeman. You ready? So how would you sign that? Me, go to police. Okay. So now, and I will say this, to is English. So in ASL, we wouldn't need to even sign to. Okay?
To?
You don't need to.
Oh, okay.
That's more English. You can, but we don't. And if we backed up for our lesson at the beginning, this is, we don't touch it, but we go goal, right? It's my goal. And if it takes you a long time to get there, you might go, and it's hard, you might go, I did it. Okay. So
Hey,
we're
I'm trying. I'll do this till the day I die.
watch this now. Here we go. We
Okay.
are now looking at the actual answer to this. Notice we didn't have to sign ing. It's already set up because of how the sentence is structured. All right, let's do this one. Past tense. We are going to lean back and we're going to say before. We can say finish, but in this one, we're going to just say before. Okay, so here's an example for week. Last week. See that? It goes back because it's past. Past. Okay. So here's another example, and write down anything tell me anything you notice. What do you notice here? What do you notice?
Addicted.
Did this. What do you notice?
Oh, she's leaning to the left.
She's leaning, her chin comes like that, and she is like that. Do you know what this sign is?
Addicted.
That's a good guess. Addicted comes from the mouth and it's like a pull. This one is just like the X hand right here. Recently.
Oh,
remember yesterday, 2 days
Okay.
ago, recently. Recently. It looks like, can you see it? Recently.
Oh, okay. So this is recently.
And then it X hand.
Recently.
A hook is addicted. You need your X.
Okay, that's my X,
Put
right?
your knuckle. Put your knuckle on it. Put your knuckle there. There you go. Make your knuckle touch. Okay, touch your chin right here. Palm. Turn your palm. There you go. So it's like this, recently. Okay, so watch this.
Recently. Okay.
So the shoulder to the cheek, the mouth says E, and the eyes squint. That means it just happened. That's how you show that with your body. Okay? Watch it again. Recently. Okay? Recently. Those are called NMM, non-manual markers. Okay, again, this is in your lesson for the online course that you have a membership to. So if you just say, I just went, recently, me, go. And then that way we can practice some together.
Sure.
All right, if you were talking with someone who is deaf and you want to practice your time, so if it's before, which way does your body move?
Just before.
If it happened yesterday, if it happened 2 weeks ago, does your body stay here or does it move back?
Guess it moved back.
It does move backwards. Not like this, but it's a tilt in your shoulders, okay? And if you talked about in the future, which way would your shoulder tend to lean?
Forward.
So it would go this way. Okay, it's just a slight shift. You don't really notice it, it just happens. So if I was saying, see how I just did it? So I'm asking, last week, what did I do? What did I do? Last week, what did I do? Well, I visited the grandkids. I walked outside. It snowed. It was really beautiful, but too cold. Like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's practice it with you now. How about give me the sentence, last week it snowed. So we always set up time first, and then the topic, and then the action. Okay, so go ahead. Last week.
Okay.
Good. Last week. Snow. Good. Good. So we knew last week snow. Do we have to sign ED?
Have to sign what now?
How do we know it's not snow or snowing like it's right now? But how did I know that you actually signed a word that had an ED on it? You did it, but how do I know that? How do you know that?
I don't know. Automatically?
Because you set up your time first. You told me it was last week.
Oh, okay.
So now the sign for snow became snowed. Because you told me it already happened last week. See, so we can set up our timeline by saying it finished like yesterday, or finished 2 months ago, or it's already happened, or we can sign before, or we can sign a time like last week or last year or last month, things like that. So setting up your time gives your action, your verbs, the ing or ed, something like that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so now that it makes sense and it's clear, I want you to give me one more sentence for, we're going to say 2 weeks ago now. 2 weeks ago, you invent a sentence you want to sign.
Okay.
3 weeks ago.
That in?
Not for ASL. That's English. So 3 weeks ago, snow. What's your sentence?
Snowed in.
Oh, that is a tricky one. So this really isn't in because you're not in something. That's the sign for in. So imagine that word, you're snowed in. What does that look like? If you're snowed in, what does that look like? Does it mean the snow is on top of you and you're stuck inside the snow? What does snowed in mean?
Stuck in the house.
Ah, so now you have to expand. You can't just say 3 weeks ago snowed in. You have to paint that picture for the people. 3 weeks ago, happened snowed, and oops, are like awful, me stuck home. I couldn't leave. I couldn't walk. I couldn't drive. Stuck. See how you have to expand? You have to add on to that sentence. So try that with me. You ready?
Okay.
3 weeks ago.
Okay. 3 weeks ago.
Snow.
Snow.
Okay. And then you could say, me stuck.
Me stuck.
Yeah, we're stuck. We're stuck.
Oh, okay. Stuck.
Stuck. Yeah. So again, there are a variety of ways we can sign that. I just kind of condensed it real simple. Me stuck. Me stuck home. And then we can add home.
I thought like this is voice.
This is voice.
Oh, voice.
You're talking, it's coming out, then you're talking.
Okay.
Voice.
Oh, so voice.
Voice.
And then stuck. Like it's something stuck in your throat.
Yeah.
Stuck.
Oh, okay. Stuck.
I know a girl, she's a cashier, she's hard of hearing. And I'll say, and she'll tell me the time in sign language, and we're talking, we're communicating. It's kind of funny. People look at us like, maybe you don't know sign language. I've learned a lot.